Okay, are you ready? Today we are going to talk about a very important political concept, tyranny. I'm Amanda Barton, I'm a federal employee, and I'm your instructor for today. This is going to be broken up into a multi-set of videos, so I would encourage you to come back, but post your comments below, contact me through email or the comment box below, and I'd be happy to get back to you as soon as I can and cover your question in a future video. So what is tyranny? Let's define it, give you some historical examples, and talk about the lessons we learned from tyrannical rule. There's quite a few out there. There's quite a few books on it, but it can be a little overwhelming because it's a term you hear often in the news. So let's start with the definition. Tyranny is a form of government where a single person or a small group of people have absolute power and they use it in a corrupt or cruel, oppressive manner. It has a negative connotation because it usually involves unfair treatment, abuse of power, and the suppression of freedoms. But let's break it down into some tiny definitions for you. So tyrant is the ruler who exercises power in a cruel or oppressive way. Tyranny is the system where a tyrant holds absolute control, often disregarding laws, the Constitution, legal system, justice courts. They don't care. A ruler who lacks legal sanction for their authority, or more plainly, when rulers do not follow the rules. It's all about oppressive power. So tyranny is slightly different from dictatorship or autocracy, which you're also hearing those terms thrown around a lot today. They can seem very similar, and sometimes they can move sort of back and forth a little bit. The big difference is that in tyranny, the leader's power is often taken by force. They typically act out of selfishness, focusing on their own gain rather than the well-being of the people that they're supposed to be serving. Tyrants often create fear to maintain that control. So what are some characteristics of tyranny? Anybody know? What would you say if someone had asked you what tyranny is? What it looks like? It's going to look like absolute power. The ruler having control over the courts, the legislative branch, and the executive branch. They often ignore the laws and the Constitution. They suppress dissent. Suppression of dissent is because tyrants do not tolerate opposition. If you oppose them, you are the enemy. If you oppose them, you are 100% wrong. There is no room for compromise. There is no room to hear the other side of the story. So they'll use force or manipulation. They might sue large media corporations to make them afraid of standing against them. They might make friends with the people who are owning those major media and use their influence to stop them from sharing certain kinds of news that shows opposition to them. They also use a lot of fear and intimidation. They make things confusing. They make things hard to follow. They make it hard for you to know what is going on exactly. That's also a characteristic of tyranny. And it's all about corruption and self-interest. So they're going to use those positions they have to enrich themselves, whether that's by selling a product or making the markets move in a certain way to benefit them. They're just trying to make more money and power for themselves. And they'll also, the final, fifth, violation of human rights. That's right. They're going to make sure that basic freedoms like freedom of speech, assembly, religion, they're going to be taken away. They're going to say things like, we're going to have a national religion, but that means that no one else can practice their religion freely if there's one national religion. Can anyone think of any kind of historical examples of tyranny? We're going to cover a bunch of those today. And we're going to cover more in the future. So I hope that you're going to come back to the channel. Later today, there'll be more lessons on this. And if you want to start further on your own, please take a look at On Tyranny, the Timothy Snyder book, or How Fascism Works, which is the Jason Stanley book. Both of those will provide you with a great deal of information to think about and historical examples to look at that might be able to really expand what you know about tyranny and how you might be seeing it in today's society.